Hello, everyone. Yes, I was here till about 2 in the morning working on some microphones. And like always, it's not necessarily a matter of completing the art of changing a ribbon, but there is a factor of it's got to sound up to par. So I checked these. This came out amazing. This is a Beyer 260 vintage one. Sounds really great. Now, I did this one last night, and maybe through just it being late, trying to get it done, it just didn't sound as good as I wanted it to be. I thought the low end response, and I check it with my voice on my ATCs, and once again, I'm not necessarily doing these because it's like a race and I want to complete the race of getting or showing you how a ribbon mic is done. It's basically I'm giving this to a producer and it better sound great. And like I mentioned in the description, this is a Beyerdynamic M160 legendary microphone. This is the Levy Breaks drum sound of Led Zeppelin. Jimmy Page used these. Eddie Kramer doing Jimi Hendrix used these. And I was first introduced to this mic because of Steve Albini in 1997 or 98. I didn't even know what this was. I wasn't producing. But on the pictures of him miking up my guitar, he had one of these, and then he had a 251, a AKG 451, the pencil condenser. I think that's the right serial number for it. And that's what he had on my guitar sound. I didn't know what the Beyer was, but when I built my first studio, this is what I got for my used in my studio. I didn't really have, hey, Paul. No, you know what? I tested this one, and it just didn't come up to par of what I wanted. I don't know if it was really late. There's so many factors of why I didn't feel like this one was done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 2 fresh ribbons, and I'm going to just do it again. And once again, this is because I care. And it's not about the act of finishing the microphone so I can say, oh, look at it, I re-ribboned it. Well, guess what? This is going to go into someone's studio. And the guy that it's going to was recording the drummer from Jack White's band. And I need to really make sure this is correct. So yeah, I know I was up till 2 in the morning doing this mic. I woke up in the morning. I came in, had a nice cup of coffee, lunch. I'm testing it. And it wasn't really up to par. Now, what factors could happen? A lot. There's 2 ribbons in this. When I put down the brackets, it looked good. It was really late. I think I may have been a little fatigued, and maybe if it was just one ribbon that was just a hair off, or when I screwed it in, one of the ribbons became slack. I mean, so many different variables. So yeah, it's a complicated mic to do. But I also want to be honest with everyone. It is, like I said, a practicing physician and practicing law. The doctor says, hey, man, sorry, we have a recall on your hip. We got to do it again. My bad. Or, hey, man, sorry about that. We'll get him on the peel, the practicing law. Well, I happen to be practicing ribbon mic black magic. And I do want this to be correct. So I glue this all together. Hopefully there won't be a lot of cleaning I'll have to do, but some. And like I said, all the mics I do have to be tested. I have ATCs, which are English speakers, are my favorite. It runs through a what is my hold on a second. Oh, my inward. I have a rare inward connections, like a speaker distributor, and that's what I listen back on. What's up, Shannon? So, yeah, so when I listened to this mic, which I did last night, even though the other one, which I did earlier, came out great, something definitely, something I have to get correct about this. I'm going to open this up, and it isn't about opening this up and, what happened? You know what? I'm ripping both ribbons out. I'm going to start again because that's just the way you do it. If I think the top ribbon is a little weird and I mess around with that and then I go check, it's just a waste of time. something has to be, it actually has to be right. It's either right or wrong. There's no middle ground with these. So I'm feeling confident now in the middle of the day attempting this that I'm going to get this one right. But like I said, it's just about, because I'm working with the ribbons that are really, really temperamental, there's so many things that could have been a variable and why this isn't working. So I'm just gonna put a little tap here. Excuse me, I didn't prefab this, which means, you know, I have to kind of do this. Hopefully it won't be difficult. I'm the one that put it on. Sorry, but I think the camera's gonna be banged every time I do that. Hold on. There's a little lip that I want to get this on. I mean, I'm the one that put it there. I know, what an ordeal. This is so difficult to do last night, and that's why I'm just gonna say, hey, my friend Stefan, who this is going to, is a real sweetheart. And not that it matters because I know him, he's gonna get special treatment. I just care, and I can't, like, I don't do people's mic and then, you know, well, it sounded good when it left here. No, I gotta make sure that I make a recording of it. So I just have to be really, really, really clear. So I just glued this last night. I'm like, son of a gun. I didn't put that much, but I have to get it right. It's just a matter of loosening it around the transducer. It's coming off just really slowly, but I don't want to, I'm not worried about ruining the ribbon because I'm gonna put another one in it, but I definitely want to get this pretty good. Hold on. It's a son of a bitch. It's never easy. Never easy. You can see some of the glue chipping away. Go past 10 minutes of trying to undo my deal, I may have to call back. I mean, I have to go live, pause it, and come back live because I may need to move everything right in front of me so I can see exactly what I'm chipping away here. Yeah, it's never easy. Never easy. Taking these off, I'm really just, I don't want it to separate the chrome ring that's around the grill. I just want to take off the black ring. That's coming off now. And also I don't want to ruin the mic. It's coming off. Just got to keep on going around. And the video I did last night was this microphone, so I'm the one that put this together. I'm sitting here taking it apart, but that's the beauty of, if I know if I had to work on it again. So let's see, a little bit of glue right there. Let me remove that. That's coming off there. Let's see if I can get it from this side. And you know, last night I had that misunderstanding with that cat and felt bad after. I didn't really understand. You know, if you reply back and you don't put @ if you reply back, it just goes in the main feed. And no, this one has crazy glue, so it's just a little bit harder to separate. And I just did it last night, and I had it set all night, so it was, you know. All the kinks and everything has to be redone. I have to redo this too. All right, that came off. Cool. It's still stuck. Oh, you son of a gun! Come on. With that to it. All right. Holy smokes, I'm really going in again. It's kind of like that analogy I always do, like you got out of prison, you dug a hole, you're on the other side of the fence, and you're like, I forgot my toothbrush. And they're like, you're not going back in there. And you go back in there. So yeah, but you know, the good thing is, though, this is what I do. I have a bunch of 160s coming in. I have Coles coming in. I've got a bunch of stuff. And it's about not fearing this process and welcoming it. And I welcome the art of working on these, and I learned every time. The ribbons look good. I mean, at least the one on top looks like it's nice. I still don't know what the factor is, but because there's two ribbons inside, if I get one wrong, one different, or if the ribbon even touches the transducer, it's going to cause some problems. And it just did not sound the way it didn't even, like, I'll just say, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, you can hear a mic and go, okay, that's cool, I like it. And then I listen to it and I'm like, no, there's something different about the low end. And that really, really means you've got to redo it again. So even though that was a beauty, one drink here. Yeah, you got some mics. I have some mics coming in from Paul. If Paul permits me, I'll premiere them here. We'll get to look at them and he can document his mics. And I can document working on them. And once again, Paul, the same thing holds to you. Whatever I do, man, we put it through some really serious tests. And I'm really, like, after I did this mic, I really tried to blow it and, you know, screaming it, yelling it. I wanted to know what was the factor and why, and I just couldn't figure it out. But it was something where you can't just, like, there's nothing I can do on the adjustment of this microphone besides going in and redoing it. And like I said, this is one of the most legendary microphones. The 160 was used by Led Zeppelin, the Levy Breaks, the drums. They're iconic, and it should sound iconic. This isn't even one of those mics where it's like, well, it's okay. Sounded good when I left my studio. No, it's got to sound incredible. And if you put a new ribbon in these, they are fucking incredible. Because I just glued this, I know it's going to be fresh, and it may be a little bit difficult to get out. I've never broken one of these. So I actually have an exact, I know I talk about never using one, but I do have one for doing 160s. And I just have to kind of get in there, slightly loosen it a little bit. It's definitely just glued last night. And you know it's fresh. All right, cool. So that's what I did last night. I just screamed into this really hardcore, and it looks good. I'm gonna say maybe right there where I had connected it last night. Maybe because of the light, maybe I was tired. I didn't see that that ribbon may have had a problem right under that bracket. And once again, I could, you know what? Actually, I could replace the top one if that's where it is, and then just check it really quick. And if it passes it, then that's what had happened. But my fear is, you know, I don't know. I'll have to find out and redo it. So that's what we're doing. Yep. And there's really no way. I mean, you can put one. I mean, if you put one ribbon in and test it, that would be probably the equivalent to a 260. But I mean, but look at the size difference. You know, so if I did one ribbon in here, it's not a 260. These are kind of half the size of a Beyer M500. So it's like a 500 is bigger, 260 is a little bit smaller, and then the 160 is small. And I think the 130s are almost the same size as this, but with one ribbon. So you can almost say, like, evolution of the monkey into an ape, into a man. I don't know how that makes sense, but yeah, I'm going to say I can I feel it's right there. So yeah, I mean, that's what you do. It's no pride aside, you know. I didn't even have to do this. I could have not said anything and been like, I'm so fucking good. But you know, I also want to show, if you are going to work on ribbons, you have to accept that it's a lot of work. And sometimes you're going to have to go in twice. If you have a fear of re-riveting these, you shouldn't be doing them. Not that it's totally like mountain climbing and if you fall down, you're going to die. I'm just saying it is time consuming, and I'm putting it on the clock. I've already assumed this is going to take me at least an hour and a half to do it, maybe 2 hours, but I'm going to try to see if I can be a little bit more efficient. Last night, I was a little bit fatigued, a little tired. I think I was hungry. And then I got distracted in a conversation here that kind of threw me for a loop. And at the end of the day, it may have been my mistake of misunderstanding. Actually, it probably was. The way YouTube is, if you replying back to someone in a chat and you don't put at the person you're chatting with, it comes across as a question to me. So this person had made a question to me that I was kind of blown away, and I tried to search and his name was a few letters off of this person in Australia that I had sent a 160 to. So without being tired and looking at his name, which looked almost identical to the person that I had sent a 160 to, I thought he was that person complaining about something I did. And so I just kind of threw me in a weird way where I spent a lot of my time, kind of really distracted me. And I need to focus in on this. And I kind of want to, like, if I had some sage, I would put some sage around this to bless it. So I think I woke up this morning kind of feeling like I need to check that microphone to make sure it's correct. And my feelings were correct. I know I checked the 260 first and I was like, oh, of course that's great. I know it was. And then I had a question mark in my mind for whatever reason about this mic. And of course, when I checked it, I was like, oh, there it is. Something is weird about it. Put a little oil on my hands like the guy from The Accountant. I love that movie. But it really is good to keep your hands oil-free. And I'm Latino. We're talking tortillas, carne asada. You know what I'm saying? All right. I am going to need a new Q-tip, but we're going to use that one for cleaning. So I'm going to take these ribbons off, and then I'm going to clean this mic again. Weirdly, I just did it last night, and weirdly, I'm doing it again. So my only thing is, Shannon just hooked me up with a coffee or a Pellegrino, man. I appreciate it. I know, so Shannon has 2 MXL R144s that I did. And Laverne and Shirley is the names of each mic, which I love it. And then now, if you ever get the 2 mics, it has to be, what is it, Squiggly and, oh God, what's his name? Squiggy and, God, what was the other guy's name? Anyways, Laverne and Shirley's cool. Thank you, Shannon. And Shannon's a guy, so get your head out of the, you know what. Oh shit. All right, so that came off. You know what, I don't like, these brackets were backwards, what I think they would be. And I put them on the way that they came. I'm going to put them back on the way the 160s are, because I just don't know what that's about. I don't know why they were done that way. But I'll remove that one when I get to the other side, and I'll see. I may be able to get away with just doing the top. That's the one that I think had problems. I have a feeling it was just twisted right there. Thank you, man. Yeah, man, we did a marathon last night on this mic, and I just got like, I don't know. You just had a feeling. So I woke up today, and my goal was to come in and make sure this mic was correct. I could never, ever, meet someone and give them back their mics without fully going through it. And just have enough confidence to look them in the eye and go, dude, I check it. It sounds incredible. Great low end, great mids, great highs. And at that point, when I hand them over the mic, then it's up to them and their responsibility on what they do with it. To a certain point, I told you, like, if you get this mic and you blow it on phantom power accidentally the first time you plug it in, send it back to me, cover me $30 for the ribbon, and pay for the shipping if you're not local. This guy's local, and so I'm going to take this off. Let me look at these ribbons. Yeah, that one. I mean, there's issues about maybe both of these. I'm just going to replace them. I think there was a little something on the end of this one, and then through me yelling in this and testing it, it caved in this bottom one for obvious reasons. I didn't care. I was just like, oh, hey, what up? Just, it's fun to know you're screaming into a Beyer 160 and it's probably going to blow. I just wanted to hear the ribbons kind of get destroyed as I was yelling in them. And yeah, I heard it. So, and it's also my way of not coming in and doing it half-baked, which means like, oh, I think I can save the bottom ribbon. Fuck that, man. Just do both of them. Do a good job. It's not a big deal. So these are going in the trash because you can't really use them after that. And I've already like screamed to these and abused them, and we're gonna go for both of these. And then also it makes it easier for me to clean the mic. If I was gonna for some reason decided to keep that bottom one, it's a son of a bitch to put all that acetone and cleaner around it to clean it. And also if I go through all that trouble and then I put a new ribbon on top and the bottom one doesn't sound good, then it's like, what a waste of time. And I am gonna reverse the what am I talking about, the reversal? I was talking about the 260. Never mind. I told you about the top brackets being reversed that came out of the factory on the 260, and I forgot when I removed those ones. I'm like, and I just, once again, holy smokes. Okay, so that one's done. Let's do this one. And because I know, like, if I remember last time I told you that the shorter screws are on the outside and the longer screws, for obvious reasons, are in the middle because they have to go through two brackets and then into the transducer. Shannon's got his stuff locked down. The mics are numbered. They've got names. That's cool. I mean, I have my favorite mics too. I don't think I've ever named them. Okay. Then once I get all this off, I'm going to do one more recount. Sometimes, because I have glues and adhesive, I could put a mic in there and think I'm dropping it and then come back over here. And then maybe it falls over here. And these are definitely not one of the mics you want to lose even a screw. So let me kind of put my count on over here. So these are the big brackets. There's one. And I'll clean these too. There's two. Hoochie poochie. And then let's see, so we have 4 small screws for that. There's 1, 2. I think my tweezers got a little bit of something on them. 3. Oh, that's a long one. Hold on, get out of there. That's a short one. That's a long one. Okay. That's a short one. So I got 4 short ones for that bracket. And there should be 4 long ones for these two. There's 1, 2. All right, that's correct. Okay, so everything's there, and I know it's silly. I just did them. You have to count these, man. I've done it where I've go to put the mic back together. I'm like, what? And then like somehow it like fell there or it was stuck to my finger. So knowing that these brackets are a little bit sticky, I'm gonna clean them. And then also, just for my own sanity, I'm just gonna tap these down a little bit. flat. It's soft. Let me clean the other one and do that one. I'm gonna just screw it, just drop it in there. Take it out of the alcohol. Then I'll do the same thing with this one. Just give it a few taps. They're really soft, so it's not like you gotta bang them, and you don't want to destroy them by like putting them in a vise. But I'm gonna clean these ones too. I'm just dipping it in alcohol. These ones really didn't seem like they had anything really on them, but I don't want any little piece of ribbon being stuck onto this. So I'll put this in the alcohol too. What's the next studio project you're working on? Well, I have a record I'm working on right now with a band called Big Store. They're kind of a really cool rock and roll band. Matter of fact, I'm hoping to finish it tonight or no later than tomorrow. They tracked 5 songs with me. I just had a record mastered in Nashville by a guy named Pete Lyman, who does all Chris Stapleton stuff. It's a local band from here called Werewolf Etiquette. I did a little demo of it just a few days ago that was really super cool. It's the one where I did the bass guitar using small amps, and then I did these things with Jeff Haba on drums, and oh man, super incredible band. Whew. Okay, let's get my brain together. Let's remove that one, and get it. Yeah, I don't know. Come on. We have a little bit in there. A little bit. Let's use this one. Right, now that I've cleaned the ribbon I've just ripped out, I'm just gonna clean it. So now that I've done that, I gotta prep the mic again for being glued back together. That was my handiwork of last night. Now it is dust in the wind. Hold on, let's see if we can make it into dust. That's a ribbon that I just put in there. Yep. Done. Okay. So let's clean it now. First, I'll be saying that I'm going to clean the rim that had a little bit of crazy glue. I think I'll be able to not make as much of a mess as I did last night. This one's already messing up. Actually, before I even do that, let's just get a razor blade. I think that was my best solution before I did this, and it is kind of built up. I mean, I can spend here another 10 minutes and try to get this off with the acetone, but it just saved me the time and just kind of get to the point. I didn't put too much, so that's enough to clean it up a little bit. This is all my handiwork. Reverse, not engineering, but reverse destroying. And if you're tuning in, this is one of the super coolest microphones in rock and roll. Technically, with John Bonham's drums, Jimi Hendrix guitars, and Eddie Kramer loved these. He's probably blown so many of these in his career. I think that was kind of his gag. He would go into a studio and they would pull out all the 160s, and then he would just put them on guitar cabinets as loud as possible. And that was kind of his little gag of everybody going, dude, he blew the microphones. No shit. He's Eddie Kramer. He can do what he wants. Get ready for your repair bill to make the art happen. All right, so then I'm going to do the other side of that plastic thing. I think I told you guys that when I was 20 years old or 21, maybe 22, Eddie Kramer thought I was going to be the next, like, brown Jimi Hendrix, a Latino version of Hendrix. He signed me to a year contract, and I couldn't do anything except whatever my band, whatever Eddie wanted. He tried to get us a record deal. It was so interesting because we sounded like Stone Temple Pilots. But Stone Temple Pilots at the time was opening up for my band, and they sounded like the Chili Peppers. So it's a really funny that my own band was kind of pre-Stone Temple Pilots alternative at the time when, you know, I think Pearl Jam had just barely come out. Because I remember there was a thing called I think it was called Foundation Forum. It was something like where you could say NAMM is for gear, but it was for like new bands. They used to have it in Los Angeles. And Pearl Jam was one of the main bands. And I remember Eddie Kramer told me that he'd gone to see them and he thought they were incredible. And so Eddie Kramer thought I was going to be the schnizzles of the nizzles. And when we didn't get signed after about a year of him trying to get us signed, at that time, SDP had broken a bunch of other bands, and maybe there was some shortcomings about my band, I'm not sure. But it was fun, and I was really naive. And I know, huh? When you destroy the mic, it's just like, and, you know, and then we didn't get picked up by anyone. But while we were waiting to get picked up, all these other producers were like, man, we love your band. We want to work with you. And we couldn't because I was under contract with Eddie Kramer. And like to the day that our contract ended with him, because we had a really cool lawyer that was at the time in the industry, pretty much a bulldog. He just said, hey, your contract's up on this date. You guys are free to do whatever you want. And we went in with this producer named Garth Richardson, who at the time, he was just about to start recording Rage Against the Machine. So we had actually had a chance to go to Sound City when Rage was there. And he was setting up to record Rage Against the Machine, and we met everyone. I think when I thought we recorded maybe before Rage, but now that I think about it, we all went down there when they were there, and I think Garth was in LA for that. So either before that session or after that session, he had already been in good grace with Sound City because he had booked out so much time with Rage that him and a guy named Stan Katayama, I think Stan had worked on like Dark Side of the Moon or something like that. They were nice enough to take us in for free, if you can believe that. So we got a week into Sound City for free, where Nevermind was recorded in Fleetwood Mac, and Garth recorded us, and it was pretty awesome. So I'm cleaning. I put this together last night, if you're watching, and under the disclaimer of if it doesn't sound good, I'll have to do it again, in the back of my mind, I said that. So when I went to test this mic today, and before I go to give it back to the cat who this belongs to, I didn't think it sounded as good as I wanted. And even though in this world of people always making it seem like what they do is killer and you should go to me, because I also think that you have to be honest. There's no way you can put ribbons in microphones without having somewhat of some failures. And most of the time, thank God, it's just about checking and quality control. Even mics that leave the factory, if they've been done with like the best AEAs and Coles and all of them, Royers, the tolerance of Royer, if there's anything crazy about the sonic level that you're supposed to get out of that mic, they do not let it go out for sale and they fix it. So I'm trying to do the same thing in my world. Like I'm really trying to make these. So, and if you can tell, it's definitely old, but I'm trying to make these so when I get them, they're busted. And when they leave, they must just sound incredible because it's kind of like my name with this. So we got that together. I've cleaned this. I didn't clean the backside of this one. Hold on. Never ending, never ending. And also, if you see my knees, I'm wearing shorts. I know it's with that little disclaimer. But I have to turn off the AC here to do this because it's a little bit loud. I do have one of those nice little, you know, ones that are up in the rafters. But in here, this is an old building. And it's kind of one of those little window wall units. And it's just really fucking noisy. If I put it on, it'd be like, what, Manny? What'd you say? And I would tell you stories, and I'd be like, isn't that cool? And you'd be like, I didn't hear one thing. I'm just trying to see if I can break this up. Look at this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to soften this up. Okay, let's do this. I'm just using nail polish remover, which is pretty much like acetone. And I'm removing this glue here that I actually put there. I had this all clean last night. It was totally clean. And it's getting little hairs in there. Time for a new Q-tip. But that's it. Just trying to keep the dream alive. I want to do good work, and this is the way you do it. It's like someone building a guitar, and then, you know, they check it and the intonation's off, or maybe one of the frets that they installed, they knew it felt a little high or something, and they went with it. They thought I'd be okay. The first time he plays solos or does something, chords, the intonation's out, and he realizes maybe a fret's out. Yeah, I mean, all the guys that do those really killer work, they have their own set of tolerances that they'll accept, and then some they're like, no, we're gonna have to make it better. So I'm cleaning some crazy glue out that I had put in this to adhere the top bulb to that, which is before I even did it, there was already a glue there, and I don't know what kind of glue they had used back in the day, but crazy glue is fine. And even with me trying to remove it again, it is a little difficult, even with just a few dabs. So I think last night I felt it when I put the glue on. I said, don't put too much. And it's crazy that I didn't, but thank God it made it a little bit easier to take it off. Whew. Come on, we gotta move fast because I'd like to get this done in a decent amount of time. Let me just make sure that's all clean. And I just want to make sure this goes on nice. And when I install it, there's no problems with my homie. All right, that's good enough. I'm just gonna glue it again. We'll keep this there for another cleanup if I need it. All right, now it's time to put the ribbon in. Let's put we want a good razor blade out the top. So after last night's little shenanigan, I'm gonna go with a fresh roll of this. Now, this is 5 inches, and I know that the ribbons I'm going to cut out of this, I don't want to use all this, but I'm just going to measure down to half. And I'm going to do these weird cuts into this. But you can't cut this whole thing long. This is a ribbon microphone. Bob is asking me, what is this? This is a microphone that Jimi Hendrix would have used, Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin, a real rock and roll, and Jimi Hendrix, a real rock and roll mic that's been around for a long time. And a ribbon is actually a thin piece of foil that goes in the middle of these two magnets. And then when that vibrates with the guitar sound or vocal or drums, it makes the sound of that thing. If it goes back to like Frank Sinatra, the Wizard of Oz, you know, all those had massive big ribbon mics for their sound. Yes, but what? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. See, Bob's like totally like, dude, what's the fucking microns of that, man? This one is 2.5. I have some Coles I did a few days ago. That's 0.6. And you can say you can get away with 1.8. I corrugate these like Coles. I mean, I'm sorry, I corrugate these like a Royer. And in doing so, because I corrugate it just like that, I feel like I even get it closer to somewhere between a 1.8 and a 2.5 at the end of it. And also, it has nice low end, mids, and highs. And I do use a 2.5, but I'm also giving it to people that I want them to use it on loud sound sources. And I've done all my 160s with 2.5s, and everybody loves them. And the low end's great on them, and they have a little bit more low end than if you did a 1.8. So it's just my preference on them, and also to add some longevity. So let me measure this because I need to make sure that when I cut this, I know it's 5 inches, and I don't want to waste this, but I am going to cut into this nice, yes, it's 5 inches. I'm going to go 2.5 right there. Come on, are you going out already? Oh my God. I just pulled this pin out last night, and it was my good pin. Okay. Just going to measure half, and that's going to be my starting point of when I'm going to make these cuts. That is, I don't know what I'm crazy right now. Is wrong cut. That's 2 inches, 2.5. I mean 2.5. Oh, that's better. Now these other ones I'm going to be using on a full sheet, so I'm not really grinding that pin across. I didn't even make a note. See, I'm ready. That's good. So I'm not using all these. My phone's dying. Give me a second. All right. All right. Sorry, Bob. Oh man, this is a slow burn, man. This may not be your gig. So the reason I'm doing this, because I'm most of the time cutting this full length for larger ribbons, but I've already known since I've done a bunch of 160s, when I have a sheet like this, I don't want to necessarily waste it. So first of all, for me to work on this sheet, I've got to cut it to the edge, just so as I start to cut away, I'm not wasting any foil, but I'm also getting a straight cut across. So once I make my first cut and I do my ribbon, it's a good cut. So let me get my razor blade out here. Let's see here. I might as well go the whole length. So I'm doing this first cut to give me access to the ribbon, so I can now start cutting smaller pieces from it. And it's gonna get a little messy in this area, and if as I start to cut some out of this, because I do have some more 160s coming in, then I'll start working on the top area. And I'm just trying to save the real estate and not waste ribbon. I have some already pre-cut, but since I had trouble with this mic, I'm just gonna go for cuts that are a little bit longer. It gives me a little bit of room to wiggle. Let me get a drink of my Pellegrino. This one definitely was spiked again with little cherry soda. So I drink about half of it, and then I put this sugarcane cherry soda, which is like this boutique. Holy cows, Batman, that was good. All right. So now I need to cut into this one without ruining. This is a nice piece of foil. I don't want to ruin that. If you bought that on eBay, that would be like, or yeah, I think eBay sells them for, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 bucks. And it's precious, you know? So as I'm working and taking little slivers out of this, if I get maybe 1, 2, 3 out of this one, I'll then move up to the top and do 3. But the most part, I'm trying to save as much long real estate here if I can, because those will be for the long ribbons of the R144s. And I just picked up a pair today that was for Paul. My friend Paul got them from England. I know, right? If it was full of vodka, man, oh my God. Then I would really start talking shit, and you'd probably watch us not even for the microphone, just me making an ass of myself, which could happen without any alcohol. So I don't know. Okay, so let me see here. 1 second. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm doing a little measuring here. Make sure. I don't want to make a mistake what I did last night. So being really critical of everything I do at this point. Now, if I test this and it's still not right, I don't mind doing it again. I don't think I'll film me doing it again because I need to get this done in the privacy of my own hood and not have the camera in front of me, which is sometimes annoying. So I'm going to put that basically over here. Right. I usually have a little bit more room to work in here also, but with the camera and trying to get, usually when you're working in here, I could like stop, and even though I do stop and eat a pickle or something like that, but I usually have it where things are just kind of spread out, and I'm not really worried about having things within, an arm's distance from me. And when you have to put everything on this table, it starts to get like annoying. Like, really? Where's that at? Or I'm looking for something. I'm just doing this. I actually didn't want to do that. Doing it here. Holy cows. So I'm going to cut 2 right now. Paul. Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm stoked. I have them. The boxes came in. It's right over there. I just picked them up from the post office. So let's cut this. And once I cut this one, I'm going to cut another one. Try to get these, I don't know if it'll be one and done, but we'll see what we can do. I want them to be good, so it doesn't matter if I have to cut more of these or not. It's just going to have to be done. I already told this cat I was going to meet him tonight. So I'm like, meet me at the taco truck tonight. I'm like, oh, fuck, man, I got to do this mic again. And I shouldn't say it's not a fun one. It's just really, really intense because of not only you're getting one ribbon correct, you have to get two. And there's still a lot of variables of why this could maybe not work out. So I'm going to start at that halfway point again on the ribbon. All right. And then what I do after I cut that little sliver out, it's being held together because of the tension of the long part of this. I'm just going to cut it right there. Now I've cut a little sliver out, and that is a ribbon. Let me set this aside because I'm going to cut another one. Holy cows, Batman, really? Oh, shit. Don't freak out on me now. Okay, just set that away from me. Get away from me. Now let's do another one. Let's get my thingamajig and get ready to thingamajig this. Get my blade out of the way so I don't cut my thumb like I did the other day. And as one guy said, I feel like he was from Spain, he says, arrogant liar. I don't know what it was I was saying that he believed that. Is arrogance mixed up in confidence? Possibly. And, you know, sometimes people can be really cool. Or let's say me, I'm talking with you all. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And I tell you all something. And your thought is like, what an asshole. So you just don't know. You don't know what people think. If they're your friends, they'll tell you, hey, dude, you know, what you said was kind of messed up. And then, you know, you try to backtrack or fix it. Or if you said something to one of your buddies and it came across as being hard. Worse is on text. You know, you're like, he's having a bad day and he asks you something and you're just short with them. Or you met, like, let's say you guys always joke around and you joke with him and he gets all hurt. I had one band that did that. We were all having a great time and they were joking about this certain subject and I made the joke back to one of the guys in the band. And then about 2 hours later, he's like, you know what, dude, when you told me that, I'm like, dude, we've been talking about it all day. Yeah, but, you know, it is, sometimes things get out of hand if you're not aware of what you're saying. Thank you, B-Bob, for being patient. He's like, I gotta go. He's like, I'm being patient. See you, Manny. All right, Luke. Yeah, a band called the Jump Offs. That's what I'm saying. Let's see here. Once again, it's just kind of that art of practicing and looking at your eye and going, do you like that? I don't like that. Do you like that? I like that. We're almost there. It's all mojo. It's all mojo. All right, that looks good to me. No, I mean, I've done a lot of records that I really love. You know, if I had to name one song which I'm super proud to have made a song for, when I made the Breeders record with Kim Deal, there's a record called Mountain Battles, and that's a record I did and I worked with Steve Albini on it, which was I mean, at the time he was kind of like my teacher, so for me to work a record with him on it, mix his songs, was fucking crazy. But there's a song in there called Night of Joy that is just so beautiful. And Kim Deal, her sadness when she sings, it's just like, oh my God. I was going through a little bit of a heartbreak at the time. So when I was recording that song with her, when she wasn't there sometimes and I had to mix it, I had some tears. It was really, really a beautiful song. And she cut it live with the band. I remember she came in, and I hadn't heard the song before, and she had worked it out with the band. And we were recording in Ohio to 24 track tape. Oh, it's fucking weird in the middle. Hold on. Okay, now I gotta figure that out. So we were cutting to 24 track tape, and they came in, and I don't think they did a lot of takes of the song, and they did like 1 or 2 takes, and it was just fucking unreal. And I was just really, really, really happy. And after we got done, I'm like, this is a perfect take. She sang it live. And then every time she played it back, she goes, oh, I don't like that word. I didn't know what she was talking about. It was like literally like the most weirdest moment where you'd be like, what? And she's like, no, that vocal's not going to work. And as you know, I'm just engineering it. She's the boss. But I'm telling her, I'm like, Kim, I go, that sounds like a one take, real deal here. And she's like, no, it's not the one. And then she goes, but I have to come in tomorrow and re-sing it. So I was just kind of like, not bummed out, but I'm like, okay. I learned with Kim, she's always right. So whatever she wants to do, you're like, yeah, let's do it. And if she's wrong, she'll be the first one to go like, no, the original one's better. So it wasn't like you're losing out or you having to do something that you know that everyone's going to regret. Even though we're on tape, the original vocal wasn't destroyed. So I know like we could always use it. So she came in and she had me play the song back and she told me where it was. And it was just like this little like, it was like one, it wasn't even like a half breath that she felt. She sang it flat, or maybe it was major to be minor. And so she came in and I punched her in and I got it. I punched on tape really good. Yeah, I'm an arrogant liar. So I punched in tape really good. And she goes, that's it. So I'm relieved. I'm like, whew. So then she goes, play. So she sang it like 2 more times. So when she sang original live one, she sang it 2 more times after the fact. And then I went to like outside. I don't smoke or do drugs or drink or anything. So I think I just went outside and like, and I think at the time, I don't even know what I did, but she basically listened on the vocals and made a comp for me, which is mean you have to get each vocal and then cut them up into what she wants. So she's like track 18, track 19, track 20. She has all the lyrics written down, and then on the lyrics it says 19, 18, 20, whatever the word is that she wants that to be comped down to one track. And then once I comped it down to one track, she came back and listened to it. She goes, I really love that. And it was already late already. And she said, listen, I'm going to go home. You stay in here. I want you to reamp it through a PV amplifier. She had this really nice kind of tweed 212 PV. And I was like, whoa, like I was like, okay. So then doesn't tell me any more than just that. Doesn't tell me like what it's supposed to sound like. So then I reamped it. It sounded fucking unreal. So that's kind of when you see me reamping stuff, I have to give credit where it's due. Kim was the first one to get me to really do that with the vocals. And it was so fucking amazing, man. She cut, most of the vocals are done into an SM7. She has a very beautiful, probably one of the oldest Telefunkens I've ever seen. She sings into that as well. On this particular song, it was probably an SM7, and she uses 58s into a 4-track. So I think the vocal was a 58 into a 4-track, and then printed to tape, and the 4-track is the preamp, but the board was a Trident board, so it went into the 4-track, into the Trident, into the tape machine, and then when we played back the tape, that went reamped into a PV amplifier, and then probably back into the Trident console, and that ended up being her vocal. So we mixed it back in LA at Sound City, but my experience of working with Kim was just like so many levels of just like learning things that she did. It wasn't like her trying to be cool. That was just her style. And I really, really, really loved it. Okay, so I'm trying to get this thing off this. I'm having a little trouble with this one here. Hold on. Oh my God. I'm trying to, this, when it gets so thin, the foil, it's just really difficult to work with. Like, there, right? Oh, I think I got it. Phew. So yeah, I mean, I learned so much from Kim, and one of the reasons I worked with her, because the first time she worked with me, I was an all analog tape, and the reason I was all analog tape, because Albini told me to get a 1971 2-inch 16, and then eventually I switched over to a 24, and that's when Kim had come into my studio, and at the time I had a 24 up, and that's how I started working with Kim, was only on tape. And she was so crazy, like we couldn't work anywhere there was a computer screen, and then nothing could go through anything that was considered analog, or I'm sorry, anything that was digital. Which is why when we went to Abbey Road, and I went to Abbey Road by myself to master the record, she had come out to Abbey Road and first time, and the engineer had ran some of the record through some kind of digital processor, and that just, it's like poison, just poisoned her mind, like this is not going to be good. And eventually it actually didn't sound that good. So she came back to LA, I mean she came back to Ohio, and then she called me and said, hey, listen to this record. I listened to it, it didn't sound like the way it did when we left Sound City. And I said, no, it doesn't sound like that. So she goes, listen, I'm going to fly you to Chicago. I want you and Steve Albini to sequence the record at his studio. And then once you sequence the record, I want you to fly to Abbey Road and master it. And I was kind of blown away. And then Jose, the drummer, called me. Hey, I heard Kim said you're going to master the record. I'm like, yeah, dude. And he goes, don't fuck it up. I was like, oh. And the pressure now was like, initially I was like, oh, I'm going to England. This is going to be fun. And then the one guy in the band is just like, dude, you're not just going out to the master the record. This is like, you know, it's a serious record. They worked on that record off and on with different producers for close to, I mean, maybe 3-4 years. When I started working with Kim on that record, hold on, I'm trying to cut this piece of. When I started working with Kim on that record, they had already been at Albini's and cut like maybe 4 songs. There's another studio in Texas. They cut some songs. They went to New York City to this girl named Erica Larson, who'd worked with like Sonic Youth and Kim Gordon and stuff. And they had worked with her. And honestly, like when people talk about like egos and all this stuff, I'm happy to have gotten the gig. Okay, one. Also, on that record was probably the most versatile sounding record, because some of it was just out of your control. Some of it I recorded their first demos. Then you go to Steve Albini's, and that sounds like Title TK, which is an incredible record. And then they went to Texas and cut with someone else. And then they cut with this girl named Erica Larson up in New York City. And then they cut with me again at Sounds. No, where did we go? Yeah, cut some at Sound City. So that record sounds a little bit everywhere because of everyone working on it. But I remember when I went to mix this song called We're Gonna Rise, and God, We're Gonna Rise, what was the other one? Well, anyways, after I mixed that song, nothing against my own style of recording, I told Kim, I go, this is like the best sounding song. I mean, whoever tracked it. And she goes, oh, this is a girl named Erica. And at the time, I'm like, a girl? Like, whoa. Like, you know, like, there just wasn't a lot of engineers. There still isn't. There definitely there should be more women producers and engineers because they got the Midas touch. If they could just get past all the stupid fucking guy shit. I mean, I meant like men, you know, kind of blocking the industry from women to move up in. But yeah, so I asked Kim for her email. I don't know her. I'm assuming, in New York City. And I just wrote her and said, hey, I'm mixing the Kim record. And she was actually happy to hear from me because she hadn't heard from Kim. And she didn't know if her tracks worked or not. And I said, we're mixing your tracks at Sound City, and they sound fucking incredible. And she was really happy. Oh, no, no, no. I'm going to corrugate it. Sorry, I'm talking, and I don't have enough room to get everything done. So sorry. No, no, no. I'm not. I'm going to corrugate it in here. But these ribbons being so thin, I'm trying to release it from the paper, and it's just a fucking nightmare because they're thin. When you do 77s and stuff like that, you have to work with them in smaller pieces to make them work. And if you cut them too long, they turn into a pig's tail. And there's no way you're going to be able to undo that pig's tail without ruining it. So I'm just having a nightmare of a time removing it from the paper so I don't destroy it. And I almost destroyed it right there. Holy cows. So I told my wife I'd be leaving here at about 4, and it's 3:30. So I'm going to try my best to get through this. I will have to leave no matter what at close to 4. I can push it a little bit, but I do have 2 mics I was going to try to drop off at the post office. So I kind of have a lot on my plate to get this done. I just started a little bit late today. When I worked in it really late last night, it really took out my morning. I'm a guy that gets up at 6. And I'm like, let's kick ass. I have espresso and make it, and I'm ready to go. This morning I woke up like, how many shots of tequila did I have last night? And my tequilas were ribbons in a microphone. Okay, so we're going to put these in. I know I was going to cut 3 just to have a safety, but if I shred one of these mics or one of these ribbons, I may have to stop this somewhere in there. So I'm going to put this in. Sorry about the camera moving. I'm tripping balls right now. Oh, come on, motherfucker. All right, let's get that in there. Go in. Oh, come on. Oh, I hate when it does that. They're so thin. It kind of gets bound up on the other side. Mm. When I get quiet, I'm tripping balls. I do not want this to get stuck. I kind of tripped it a little bit, but... Okay. And that's why you just gotta have a little bit extra, because as I'm doing this, I've slightly damaged one end of that, but that's okay. I won't use that end. Let's put this somewhere where I can ruin it later somehow. I'll drop my tweezers on it or something. Let's do the next one. Oh man, this is so thin. It's just about, I want it to go in right against the edge. It's so fucking hard to do that. Oh. Of course, it's stuck to it. You son of a bitch. Oh, where the fuck is that? Oh, there it is. Holy cows. Oh, did you get out? Okay, did it go all the way? Okay, it is out. like searching for them after they've cut. All right. Ooh. Okay. Holy cows. Sam. Uh-oh. Holy cows. I know. Holy cows, Batman. So these are the ribbons that I cut. That's one. They're beautiful. I mean, that's two. I'm going to stretch them out. These ones in particular, I'm not too worried about stretching them out because once I install them, I'm just yanking them left and right and trying to put them in the transducer. So, plus they're so small, there's not a lot of wind up or tension because it's just not. So, let's get the mic back in the picture. Yeah, if those were larger ribbons, I would have did the whole accordion thing. Those are so small. As soon as I start tugging it in there and I'm lining it up, you can tell really quick. All right, so get my brain together. We have 30 minutes, and my studio's starting to turn into a sauna. It's hot today, but I have to turn off all the air and the fans. Hold on, drink time. And like I said, no one told me that when you work with thin ribbons, they wind up like pigtails. So for instance, like when I first started doing ribbons and I would cut them, I would cut maybe a ribbon like this whole length. You know, maybe it'd go to here and I'd cut that all the length of the 160 and I'm like, oh, I'll just cut it in half. As soon as I took it out of there, the ribbon's all, and I was like, oh my God, and you can't work on it. So you have to measure it out. Like I went 2.5, like usually I'm cutting ribbons at 5 inches to put into 2.5 or 2 inches because I just want that little bit of wiggle room. And when you get into these ones, that even though this is like 1 inch, is that 1 inch? Let's see here. Yeah, it's a 1 inch magnet. You can't cut that ribbon to 1 inch and then corrugate it because it kind of gets accordioned, all squished up. So, you know, give yourself 2 inches, which is like, you know, like a 1/2 inch here and a 1/2 inch there to move it. But actually that's cut 2.5. And when I cut it off, I'm losing an end when I cut already, so it got shorter. And then once I grab it and bring it over here, some of the end got more messed up and now it's shrunken more. So by the time I've cut it, measured it, put it on the table, I've already probably lost, you know, an inch of either side just being damaged, moving it around. So you can't really, I wish it could be more efficient like that and save foil, but there's a certain point you're just gonna have to, you know, you can't be stingy with it because you want to do a good job. That little extra love I have to be able to lay it in and you have a little bit to tug and pull, for me personally, it makes it more comfortable for me to work on this. So this is a Beyerdynamic 160. I did last night. I tested it. I was not happy with it. I think when I looked at it, I can see where the ribbon may have gotten damaged when it got into this. I did tug it around a little bit, but it just wasn't up to par. It didn't sound good, and my buddy is a real sweetheart. I can't let him down, so I've got to have a really killer mic. So just did that. I don't like that. Oh man, I ran on my Q-tip again. Jeez. The alcohol's drying up on me. Hold on. Ooh, hoochie poochie. That's my replacement for the F word. All right, so let's get that. I'm gonna put a little alcohol. Oh, damn. I didn't want to do that, but I'll take it. So then I'm gonna pull on this one. I like that. Fuck. Oh, that just got I don't know. It must have gotten alcohol on that. I don't know why that twisted like that. That was fast. Yeah, it just stuck. There's alcohol. Oh, man. I think I tore the ribbon right at the very end. Whew. That is not good. That bottom part is not going to work. I think I tore it. I don't like this. Nope. Fuck this one. You know, that did not look good to me. It got twisted when it got... It's really difficult when I put the alcohol in. If it runs along that magnet anywhere and you can't really see it, when you lay the ribbon in, it just like almost like that's magnetized. It's not, but it just goes to the liquid and just runs back into it. So yeah, son of a gun. Well, I did cut two, so now I'm down to one. I think I have enough time to, if I can get this one and done, I'm pretty sure I'll have time to cut the next one and try to put it in. It's still stuck to my finger. Son of a bitch. And because I had the issues with this initially, I'm not even gonna settle for a question mark. I know, right? I forgot to tell you guys the whole ribbon. Who was breathing? Who breathed on me and got that ribbon mic screwed up? Okay. Well, this is what I do. A long time ago when I started this, it was just really heartbreaking. It was so difficult to get to that point, and then you put the ribbons in. It's so fucking difficult. And I would get really bummed out because I want to be good. And then I just kind of realized, okay, well, just accept it. It's a hard mic to do it. We know that. And you want it to be good. If you want it to be good, then you have to just, accept where the shortcomings are, any failures, and then just conquer it. Shoot. Don't let me ruin this before I even start. Twisting it. Fucking shit. I don't really like the way it's set into here. I don't know why I'm having an issue with this one. My ribbon's getting my Q-tip is getting thrashed. I'm totally messing up the corrugation on that very end. I gotta get another Q-tip because it's doing it. I know, right? But like I said, in some ways, it's like your crap. See, that better Q-tip just fucking did it in a snap. Okay, that looks killer. I gotta get the other side. And once again, last time, this is where it kind of ate it. Don't want to do it again. Indentation. You have to kind of lock it into that. So that looks pretty good. It's alcohol. Alcohol is holding it in, and it's 91% alcohol. Now there's a small room. See, it's on the other end. It's already kind of, it's not right. Oh my God, this is like, yeah, it's only alcohol that's holding it in. And it's alcohol that's permitting me to get back in there and move it. Man. All right. Oh my God, that was tough. I think that one will do it for me, at least putting the first one down. Now I gotta put the little brackets back on it, and hopefully it doesn't give me trouble. What's that holding it in place? Now you can breathe. It's just a little vise for like models and stuff. Oh, dude, M. Johnson, dude. Oh my God, dude, thank you so much. M. Johnson just gave me some money to buy 2 coffees. I know, right? Thank you, man. You guys are sweethearts. I appreciate it. You know, since about maybe 1994, I've been an entrepreneur. It's a crazy life to live that life like that. You know, the stability of not having the financial possibilities of just being able to, you know, I was a father when I was like 31, 32. So yeah, it's really, really difficult. It's really difficult to somehow make sense of living a life as an artist. And how I've ended up where I am now, where I'm at a studio. I'm almost 60 years old. I'm sitting here talking shit, putting in a ribbon mic, getting coffees from people. It's kind of like the guy in the subway doing a song like, that guy sounded good, Bruce Springsteen cover. I'm gonna give him $10, and he's like, holy shit, I'm rich. I'm rich for the moment you go up to buy some Dawn Espresso coffee, and you're like, oh man, I'm such a stud. Give me 2 cans, you know what I mean? Thanks to you. Let's see. I was asking what was holding. Oh, my bad, dude. Once again, I'm trying to read and go as I'm doing this. Alcohol. Sorry about that, Mr. B. Bob. Now I'm just having a little issue with getting this, and I'm just not. I have to get this on right. This little groove has to be on the top, and then the bottom is cut away for that ribbon to move around. So I have to get it on right. So let's just do this. Let's go the other side. Maybe I think I always start with the opposite side, and I just did it again. My tweezers are finally taking a toll. So these are the short screws, and they go on the edge. I'm trying to protect the ribbon just in case the screwdriver slips and it doesn't stab my latest and greatest work. Okay, loosen the hair because I want to be able to move it. All right, let's put in the other one. This is a small one again on the edge, not in the middle. Let's get my screw good. Feels like it went in. Now I'll get my screwdriver, and it's hard to protect it, but I'm going to push against it as I drop it to make sure I just don't free ball it and put it into the ribbon area, and then have the screwdriver slip and go into the ribbon and ruin it, which I'm saying that because I've done that. Okay, got it in. Let's see if I can lock it in. All right, good. So I'm not going to put these in super tight because what I don't want to do is bow up the middle of the ribbon. So if I crank these too tight, it'll start to make that's really soft bow up, and I don't want that because even though I'm putting another clamp with two in the middle, I want them all to be sitting flush. So as I start to tighten them, they evenly tighten down, kind of like if you imagine a snare head. When you tune a drum, you got to move back and forth from your lugs, and if you don't do it, your heads become crooked on the rim, and that ruins the rim. So it's a whole, like drummers and tuning, the ribbons are kind of the same way. I'm going to double check this one. All right, that's good. So let's get the other one. Once again, the one on top is slightly grooved out, and the one on bottom will be grooved out underneath it. Fuck. Don't bump the ribbon, please. Shit. Oh, man, come on. Oh, come on, motherfucker. All right, that looks all right. Once again, the small one. I would make a joke about that, but we may have a woman here, Mary. So I'm gonna push this over. Don't fuck up that ribbon. I can cuss, but I don't think it's cool that I make up some jokes. Okay, so let's see that one. Oh, fuck. It fell on the floor. Holy cows, Batman. I found it. Thank God. I'm doing nothing else here except finding it. So let me make sure I got a right screw. So that's a small one. That is a small one, and I have 4 long ones. Okay, all my screws are here. You don't really have that. Once I put these tweezers on it, you don't have that much room I don't know why. Oh, I just dropped it again. My God. This is getting a little retarded now. Hold on now. Gonna be like a crackhead right now. Ah, make sure they're pulling around. Jesus. Holy smokes. Can't believe I'm gonna get to the point where I have a screw on the floor. I'm searching around here with my hands, trying to feel it. Oh my God. Well, it isn't like it's lost forever. It just means that I have a screw on the floor. And it's one of those things where, like, you know, when you lose your sock, you're like, what the fuck? Hold on. We solve it with one problem here. We just move my light over. Hold on a second. Hold it now. See here. This is crazy. There it is. Holy cows. Oi! Oi! Crackhead looking for crack rocks on the ground. Finds this crack. Let's smoke it. Jesus. Okay, this next time when I put that up there, I'm not going to drop it. I promise. Oh my God. It's nerve-wracking, I tell you. And I try to have everything clear where I'm not, you know, everything is kind of controlled if an accident happens. Losing those little brass screws are just not, you know, it's just, and as I was mentioning about, there isn't a lot to grip on these. There isn't. So let's not drop this again. Hold it tight. Hold it tight, Manny. Oh, come on, go in there. Okay. Put the light on it, Manny, so you can see where your screw head is. Oh no, my thing's gonna fall on. Everything's falling apart. It's not in. Oh, the ribbon moved. It's moving because it's not straight. Really? Come on. Oh. Sometimes these brackets are cool because they fit just fucking perfect. Let me just check there. I'm gonna put a little alcohol there. I don't like the way that moved. This could ruin the mic again. Alright. Putting alcohol in that again just gives me a little bit more time to work. When I put this bracket back down, it also could mean it's going to stick to this bracket, which then is going to be a nightmare. But at some point, I can't work with it with that ribbon not being kind of at least anchored down. Oh. Come on. Holy cows. Make sure I get a small one, not a large one, for the next one. Bugman, you're in. It's like a club now. And you all know what's gonna happen. It's like watching Evel Knievel jump over the fucking cars again. You're like, he's gonna munch it right now, and then I munch it. You know, he used to get liquored up. He would get hammered before he did his jumps. That's probably why he would bleed a lot. When you have alcohol in your blood, you bleed it out. I'm gonna tighten these, but not super tight. Just enough to save these ribbons from moving when I put the other one in. Okay, holy cows. There's one. No, I fucked up one already, so I'm kind of backpedaling a little bit. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna tell my wife I'm gonna be 15 late. Hold on, everyone. Don't go anywhere. Just send a text to my. Just send a text to my wife. I think it keeps the leak open. Oh, awesome! Thank you guys. I know one. I think it keeps the leak open. Oh, awesome! Thank you guys. I know one ribbon to go. Jesus. All right. So am I still live? Thumbs up, anyone? I just went off to text my wife back and came back really quick. Holy cows. Holy moly. All right. Is anybody there? Did I lose connection? Going off for a quick minute. Check. 1, 2, 3. Is this live? Is this live? Yes, Paul. Thank you. Okay, let's see if I can get this done. Come on. I may not be able to get it all fully done, but at least I get these 2 ribbons in and adhere the top to it. I'm cooking. And it's cooking in here too. It's hot. All right, give me 1 second. This is a Beyerdynamic 160 that did not make the grade. As much as I may say that I'm a badass, if it doesn't sound good, you cannot let this mic go. Ooh. Did I tell you I like to do this? Did I already tell you guys that? There's something that makes you just feel good when you hear the mic back and you're like, oh yeah, I made that. I made that. I didn't make the mic. I made the ribbon. And have that turn into a sound where you know the drummer from Jack White's band is going to be using this. I'm happy. That makes me feel like the time put in is worth the time that someone will enjoy it getting out. And because these are pretty durable after, I won't see this mic for a little bit. But knowing the way the engineer there uses these, I don't know if I'm going to totally honor, like, if he brings it back blown. You know, if someone puts this under a snare, there's a certain point you're accepting your own responsibility of this. Pigtail, we got a pigtail going on here. Oh, shoot. So, I mean, there's a certain point, you know, if he brings this back to me in a few days because the guy put this under a snare, I mean, there's a certain point then I can't always be responsible for that. Because he explained to me the situation. It's not that good for a ribbon mic. Like if there's a guy that said, hey man, I'm gonna use this as a bottomless snare mic, and he wants me to honor, like, you know, if he's gonna rip this mic apart every session because he puts it under a snare, I couldn't do that. That'd be insane. It'll be fucking crazy. So I can't. But for average Joe, anyone blowing it on Phantom Power, okay. Sorry, I got a pigtail here. Hold on a second. God. Of course, I'm trying to move efficiently in this, and I get like a pig's tail fucking ribbon. Ugh. Hold on. Oh, shit. Jesus. Hold on. Oh, man. I tell ya. I just need things to run smoothly right now. The ribbon has stuck to my finger, and I can't fucking get it off my finger. It's stuck on my finger. Oh my God. And that's like, that's that real estate thing where I don't feel like losing that amount of real estate because I need that for the mic. Oh my God. I don't know if it's good or bad that I give you all the insights of what it's like doing this. Be like, that guy, he's got problems. He's got some mental problems. Everybody's fucking crazy, man. I know guys that repair amps that are just out of their fucking mind. But when you bring your amp to them and it sounds killer, you're like, who fucking cares? You know? They're getting it done. That just happens to be their mojo. Everybody will have an opinion about you whether you like it or not. So it's just like, oh fuck. Hold on. Son of a bitch. Ugh. I have the worst ribbon right here that is just like, you know what, Manny? Fuck you. We're gonna do it our way or no way. It is rounded, bounded. I'm gonna roll up. Fuck you. Oh my God. It's twisted. It's weird. It's uncooperative. It's doing its own dance. All right, let's just, I got no time to mess with this. Let's just do it. Let's just see what's gonna happen. If this is gonna really be a problem with this one, I'm gonna have to cut it again. No guarantees, no guarantees. It's not cooperating to, it's just twisting. It makes it really, really difficult to get it in there. Oh. Really? Come on. Oh my God. This one is giving me trouble. From the get-go, it's just giving me trouble. I don't want it to go in there. I want it to go on the edge. No, I don't want it to go in sideways or halfways. Come on. There. Do it. Just do it. Cooperate for Daddy. Daddy wants you to go in like that. Okay. This is not a beauty contest, but it's definitely got to fit in right. I got it. Let's see if I can get this in, man. Holy cows. And I went on, I'm already like at 105 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, I got this. We're going to get this quick. Paul's going to come in. He's just waking up on the other side of the pond. He told his wife he was going to be ready to go to the store. And she's like, what are you watching? Why are you watching that guy? She's like, you can do it better than him. Maybe, Paul. Maybe this is your calling. Oh, man, that is not right. Oh, shit. I don't like that. Don't twist. Yeah, come on. Okay. My Q-tip's getting wasted. Son of a bitch. I got one Q-tip left. We're really pushing it today. All right, that looks beautiful. Shit. Oh my God, I got it. But it better sound fucking good. That's all I gotta say. Or we're gonna be getting you naked again. That's right, you heard me. I get 160s naked. Okay, let's put on this bracket now before the alcohol decides to dry on me. Let's move my foil out of the way so I don't ruin a brand new sheet of foil. That's expensive. I've got Q-tips everywhere. I'm sweating balls here. Let's get this bracket on it, see if I don't ruin the mic before I put this back on. Once again, I have to get it to these grooves are correct. That is correct. The best thing about these ones is once you put these in, you get a little bit better feel. Let's put the long one in. Oh, fuck. I moved the ribbon. Bitch. I gotta put alcohol on that one again. Son of a gun. Oh, man. Stay. Please stay. Holy cows. Holy moly. Holy macaroni. Holy motherfucker. Let's just get it out. You know I wanted to say that. I think we're past the point of being polite. I gotta get this fucking shit going. I got people that have to go do things, especially myself. It's Friday over here, which means as soon as I leave here, I'm gonna be up to my fucking neck in LA traffic driving through downtown to get up north. It's just not the most desirable thing to be in the position right now, but hey, I told my wife I'm doing some river mics and she knows what comes with that, which is this. Oh shit, don't break. Okay, let me do the other one. These are the long ones. Don't drop the screw in the ribbon. I know I said that. That means I'm going to do that. Jesus. It's like ribbon Tourette syndrome. Don't drop the screwdriver into the ribbon, and then I drop it into the ribbon. Oh, fuck. Let's just get it out. Fuck. How many fucks do I need to get out right now? Jesus Christ. How many Jesus Christs? Fuck Jesus Christ. Fuck Jesus. No, I don't. That doesn't sound good. Shit. Alright, so now I'm going to tighten the sequence of all these. Those are good. That's loose. Come on. Tightening it down. Once I tighten these down, I'm then going to tighten the other ones. Make sure they're tight. 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 Middle again. Middle again. Back to the end. That one's coming loose. Son of a bitch. Alright, that's good. I'm gonna put one more dab of alcohol in this. I know that's I'm regretting doing this right now, but I gotta do it. It's gotta stay. Oh shit. I don't like that. I knew that, but I had to put it on there. There's no way I can put that other bracket without making sure this is not gonna move. It's crooked. Fuck, I can't believe I'm gonna do this right now, but Jesus, man. Can't believe I just did that. Oh my God. I made it crooked. Son of a bitch. Holy cows, man. Man. You're really getting annoying me here. Nope. Oh my God, man, I got it. Son of a gun, that was hard. Oh my God. Whew. That was some evil Knievel shit. I'm not out of the fucking woods yet, man. I gotta put that other fucking bracket on. Oh, that was nerve-wracking. Working with a thicker ribbon, it gives you just that little bit more wiggle room to kind of move it around. Oh my God. I know, and I don't want to fuck it up now. Okay. Like I said, I still have to test it. So even after all this, it better sound badass. If it doesn't, we do it. At the end of the day, there will be a success story. I know the variables, so whatever I listen to it and something's there or not there, like Sherlock Holmes, you can go through what you just did, learn from it, and then you do it again. That's all. And you gotta put the light where you can see the screw head going in. I'm covering it again, but okay. Let me do all these heads. Alright, son of a gun. I'm gonna get this little piece off the edge. This is a no-no. Before I do that, let me just make sure I've done these two. Good, 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 okay. Alright. Alrighty. That is a 160, 2 ribbons. I still have to test it. And I do have to go pick up my wife right now. But I'm going to put some rubber cement there. I'm going to lay this back on top. And then I'll put some tape around it. And that's pretty much, if you I got 2 more coming in that you could see what I'm going to do in this last stage. But I'll test this and I'll come back again. I got some more mics and I'll let you know how this went. But that is a 160. Voila. Voila. Thank you all. Thank you guys for buying me some coffees and some Pellegrinos. I appreciate it. Let me see if I can read some messages before I bail out. Bugman, what's up? Paul's there. The crew. I know, how weird, huh? We're all homies now. And chicas. Don't forget Mary and her husband. Still here. Yep. Let's see here. Paul, Shannon, 160s are a challenge. Yes, they are a challenge. Mark, there's a big whew. Paul, thank you. Well, I'll let you guys know. Definitely, I don't know if I'll come back late tonight, if I'll come live for one more, but I'll let you know. I'm going to test this when I come back here, and I'll let you all know. And if not, I don't think I'm going to have to get this one in the privacy of my own studio and just really, where the camera is, my head's going to be right there, and I've really got to work on it. But to the most part, I believe I've crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's on this mic. And I'm going to actually test it before I glue it back together. It's not that big a deal. I could put 2 pieces of tape that hold that on right there. And then I put the bulb on and just literally plug it in and test it. I probably should have done that last night. And that probably would have saved me even having to glue everything. But definitely, I'm not going to glue it all together for the test. And if it does work out, I'll glue it all together and then I'll test it again. And then I could hand it off to my buddy. Everyone, thank you so much for doing that. Everyone, Shannon, Mark, Paul, Bugman, Bebop's still there. Who else? Mr. Johnson, thank you again. That was a 10 spot. I appreciate it. Then Shannon got me a 5 spot. You know what I'm saying? I'm rich in coffee and I'm rich in friends. Everyone, take it easy. That's a Beyer 160, almost fully completed, but at least that's, well, let's just do this. Okay, there you go.